some hands. All right. Well, we're going to start off with our first animal. Now, our first animal is named Tank. What do you guys think Tank might be? You guys can yell it out. A snake. What if I said he moves really slowly? All right, well, let's bring him out and see if you guys are right. There he is. So my buddy Tank is called an African spur-thigh tortoise. Now, does anybody know what the difference between turtle and tortoises are? Some of us maybe. So turtles will normally have some webbed feet and they're really good at swimming. Whereas tortoises have these big stumpy elephant feet and they use those to walk on the land. So all tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. So calling Tank here a tortoise would be right, but calling a sea turtle a tortoise would be wrong. Does that make sense to you guys? Now Tank has some leafy greens in his mouth. He likes to eat a lot of veggies. So Tank is a vegetarian or a herbivore. And he is super big, right? So that means he eats a lot of food. So he's like our little lawnmower here at African Lion Safari. He gets super excited when we bring him here, because then he can eat all the leafy greens that are in and around our stadium. He's looking for it. Now Tank is really large, but he's still got lots of growing to do. Tank can get as big as your coffee table and can weigh up to 250 pounds. So he's got lots of growing to do, and pretty soon we're gonna have to bring him out on his own little wagon, right? He'll be too big for our big muscles to bring him out. But Tank might want to go backstage so he can keep grazing. So we're gonna wave bye to Tank. Now he's pretty cool, right? Now Tank, if you ever wanted to have him as a pet, it might not be the best idea, not just because of how big he can get, but they are really strong and they can even run themselves through drywall. So if you don't want any holes in your house, I wouldn't suggest those guys as a pet. Now the second animal friend we're bringing out is named Ketchup. And what color is Ketchup? So what color do you think our next animal friend is? Red, yeah. So the next animal we're going to bring out is called a red tegu. And let's see if he's ready. Sometimes he likes to snooze backstage, so we might have to wake him up from his nap. There he is. So this is Ketchup, and Ketchup is called a red tegu. Now tegus come in different kinds of colors. There's red tegus, black and white tegus, and even gold tegus. All right, eyes open. Can you guys see his eyes? Yeah? Maybe he wasn't snoozed after all. Now, if some of you guys are up close, you might see that he's flicking his tongue in and out. What do you guys think he's doing with that tongue? Smelling. You guys are right. So he's smelling with that tongue. So what he's doing is he's flicking his tongue out. He's grabbing the particles of air and he's bringing it back into his mouth. And then his brain can let him know what he's smelling, which is really, really cool. Now my buddy Ketchup here has some really big chunky cheeks. And that's actually how we can distinguish male and female tegus. So Ketchup here is a male tegu because he has really large cheeks. And they use those big chunky cheeks to attract themselves girlfriends. So Ketchup is hoping the bigger the cheeks, the better he will be at getting girlfriends. But unfortunately, we won't be introducing him to any females. So those big chunky cheeks are just for us today. But my buddy Ketchup is super cool. He's like a little puppy dog. He'll just sleep in our arms when we bring him out. But we'll bring him back so he can have a good rest of his nap. Can we say bye, Ketchup? Bye, buddy. Now the next animal we're going to bring out is a little bit bigger than Ketchup, and hopefully it might look a little bit more familiar to you guys. You guys want to see a modern day dinosaur? Yeah, and do you want to play a little bit of a guessing game with me? Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple hints about what our next animal is, and then when our animal friend Wallace comes out, I want you to shout out what you think she is, okay? So she's a carnivore, and she has a mouth full of very sharp teeth, and she's also semi-aquatic, which she spends most of her time in and around the water. So do you guys have your ideas in your head of what she might be? All right, let's see what she is. Wallace? There she is. What can Wallace be? A crocodile. Well, she's not a crocodile. What else could she be? An alligator. If she's not a crocodile, she must be an alligator, but she's not an alligator. Caiman? Who said caiman? You guys are so smart. She is a caiman. So my buddy Wallace is called a Cuvier's dwarf caiman, and they're part of the crocodilian family. Now, crocodilians include crocodiles, alligators, caimans, and does anybody know the fourth one? They're from India. So those guys are called gharials, and they have really long, skinny snouts. Now, Wallace here still might have a little bit of growing, but Cuvier's dwarf caimans max out at about 5 feet long. So they're a lot smaller than their 20-foot saltwater crocodile cousins, right? Now, all crocodilians have this armor on their body, but for the little guys like this, it's super important. So the armor on their body is called osteoderm plates. Now, osteoderm just means bone skin. So their skin is as tough as bones, which is why we have to hold her so specifically, because it can actually hurt us. So from her nose to the tip of her tail, she's covered in these bumps and these spikes. Now her tail has these spikes, what are called osteoderm scoots, and when she gives us a little wiggle, which she might show us right now, if those scoots catch us at a certain angle, they can be as sharp as a serrated knife. Now Wallace is just wiggling because she's trying to let Mercedes know, I'm a grown caiman and I don't like to be held like a little baby. Please put me down. So we'll just put her down, let her cool off a little bit, and then we'll pick her right back up. Now, has anybody gone to the water park yet today? Yes, I'm so jealous. Now, crocodilians and our buddy Wallace here has some really cool adaptations to help them in the water. They have these really cool webbed feet like ducks that help them to swim. They have a really powerful tail to help propel them through the water. And that tail will even help them jump straight up out of the water to grab things that are hanging off the branches above the rivers. And the third thing that I think is the most interesting about them is they have 2 sets of eyelids. Now you might be wondering, why do they need 2 sets of eyelids? Well, the first set of eyelids will shut up and down when they want to go to sleep at night, and the second set of eyelids go from side to side, and those ones are completely clear. So they have a built-in set of goggles. And they will use those eyelids as goggles when they're looking for food in and around the Amazon rainforest and the rivers and the murky waters. Is that pretty cool? Well, my buddy Wallace likes to hang out in the sun, so she's giving us a wiggle again. So we might bring her back so she can lay in the sun and cool off a little bit, right? Can we say bye, Wallace? So Wallace is a really good girl, but she can be cranky sometimes, which is reasonable because she is the mother to 6 teenage caimans. So we can cut her some slack for being a little bit wiggly. Now the last animal I'm going to bring out is a reptile with no legs. What animal might that be? A snake. Would you guys like to see a really big snake today? Perfect. So the buddy I'm bringing out is named Poseidon. Now Poseidon knows that not everybody likes snakes. So when Poseidon comes around the corner, I want to give her a big warm welcome and we'll shout, "Hi Poseidon," okay? So when Poseidon's ready, when you guys see her, let's give her a big welcome. 3, 2, 1. Hi Poseidon. That was really good, but I don't think she heard you. Can we do it one more time super loudly? That was much better, but I have something to confess. Poseidon actually doesn't have any ears. So she didn't hear you, but she does have internal ears, which means she can sense vibrations. So I'm sure she still felt all the love that you guys were giving her. Now Poseidon is a type of python called a reticulated python. Now there's lots of different kinds of pythons out in the world. There are different sizes and different colors. Poseidon here, being a reticulated python, actually holds the record for the longest python in the world. And the longest reticulated python was 32 feet long, or 10 meters. And to put that into perspective, that is the size of the yellow school bus that takes you guys to school every day. Now Poseidon here is only about 10 feet long, so imagine a snake 3 times her size. Now reticulated like to hang out up in the trees. So Poseidon is holding on to Mercedes like she's a big, nice, warm tree branch. Now Poseidon, just like our buddy Ketchup, is flicking her tongue in and out, so she's also using her tongue to smell. And just like Ketchup, she has a forked tongue, so she can tell which smells are coming from which direction. And when she puts her down, you can see how long she is, which is pretty impressive. Now, what kinds of foods do snakes eat? Lizards, maybe mice? Yeah. So my buddy Poseidon likes to eat mice. And snakes actually don't think that humans smell good or that we smell like food. So even big snakes like this won't look at you like you're a nice tasty snack. We're actually too clean of a creature for snakes to think we smell or taste good. Because we take showers and we take baths and we wash our hands, right? Right? So we're way too clean for them. They like the nice, stinky, and dirty animals like rats. So when you're out on a hiking trail, you don't need to worry about these guys thinking you're tasty. Very few people have actually been swallowed by snakes. You're actually more likely to be crushed by a vending machine while getting your snacks than you are to be swallowed by a snake, right? We're not afraid of our vending machines, right? So we don't need to be afraid of these beautiful creatures either. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us and learning a little bit about our reptile friends. I know reptiles are everybody's favorite, but the more we learn, the better we can help conserve and protect them, just like we do with our fluffy animals. And we will be staying up front here. If you want to come down and take a closer look at Poseidon. We can't touch her, but you can give her a nice wave hello. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day here at